Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Here we are again. It's late on a Tuesday night. It's December 6th on the West, or December 6th, I guess, on the East Coast, December 5th on the West Coast. It's a late night tonight. It's been a long day, but Bitcoin is pumping, and I wanted to make this video right now because I wanted to talk about the fear of missing out. Everybody's jazzed about Bitcoin really coming up. It's December. It's the Santa rally. Or is it? Is it a bull trap? What's going on? What do we expect? I want to give perspective on, what's probably making this go up and what also could bring it back down. And this is going to be in two parts. I'm going to talk about the crypto stuff here on this channel. And if you need more information, you can obviously check me out on Twitter and at my website, or check out the stuff. There's stuff on the crawl to help you out. You can use that. But I want to talk about several different things. And then part two is going to be more about the geopolitical stuff. That's going to be all over. I'll put the link here on EconomicPreppers. But this is going to be the crypto side of it. But there's going to be more. And Patrick and I, we talked about it a little bit. He may do a rebuttal on probably on EconomicPreppers from the miner's perspective of what he sees. Really interesting conversation I had with him. And I said, we got to get this on video too. So hopefully he gets 5 or 10 minutes to record something and does a rebuttal to what I'm doing. But first, let's get into the chart and talk about what I'm seeing right now and what I think is going on and why it could go up or could go down. So let me lean over. I'm going to lean over here so that my mouth isn't covered with all this stuff on the button here. And okay, so first off, here's the chart. Okay, you can see the chart this is a 1 month chart. You can see it's finally shot up over. Let me even click into the 5-day chart. Let me get that over here. So if I go to the 5-day chart, you can still see a big bump up. You see here it is on December 2nd, 38, 39K. And all of a sudden, wham, it went all the way up to hit 45 today. Now it's kind of making a stand a little bit at 40 in the 43, 44 range. So what's going on? The biggest reason that most people think that it's in the 43 to 44 range right now, here we are. This is Eastern Standard Time. So it's about 1 a.m. on the East Coast. It's 10 o'clock out here on the West Coast. This is the biggest reason why. And this eye chart, this colorful eye chart, which you can find on Twitter. I've shared this several times before. Again, follow me on Twitter. That's over in the corner. You can see that bubble there. You'll see it easier when I shrink this down. But this chart shows all the different ETFs that are out there for Bitcoin, and everyone is expecting the Bitcoin ETF to be approved by January. Because look at all these dates. The SEC final deadline, the next deadline for a lot of these is January. Some of them are between those timeframes, but it looks like everything is leaning towards January to be approved. I have my own suspicions as to when they're going to approve it, or if I think they're going to approve it. I think they have to, but they could do all kinds of games. But let's talk about why I think that you need to be a little bit conservative about your outlook. Now, it's great that the price is going up, the Christmas rally. There's going to be FOMO. People want to get their Bitcoin, fear of missing out. But look at some of the things that I'm seeing. Just think about this. And we've talked about this on our Patreon channel, which is now a crypto coin club that's over through the Economic Preppers. I'll talk about that more in a little while. But first off, let me share this. The coin market cap, this actually went up while I was sitting here. Fear and greed index is now 82. Okay. It's extreme greed. Now, normally that means it's overbought. Bitcoin is overbought. It's running up too high. Now, that'll happen in a rally, but that is one indicator that it could be overbought. Now, looking at the chart, again, let me find that chart. Let's see. Here's the chart. I want to look at this. So this is the Bitcoin weekly chart going all the way back to middle of 2021. So the major rally that happened at the end of 2021, and it took us to 69K. What I wanted to highlight in this, the circles and the blue line. So let's start with the circles. The circles here, they kind of coincide with this RSI, and that also signifies an RSI out of this purple channel, above the purple channel, tends to say it's overbought and the price will probably be coming down in the near future. And you can see that happened in the 2021 springtime. It was too early for the rally. So that was a bull trap. That's what I think could be happening now, because again, the RSI is way up again. It could go up, hit its head, may even get to 50. I don't know yet, but I see a lot of area here of resistance with more volume. There was a long period here from, well, I'll say it's from middle of May of 2021, all the way out to early 2022. Covering up my own chart. That is March and April. So you can see a lot of trading happen, a lot of time that Bitcoin spent in the 40 to 50 range in here. So this could be, to me, what, if you're familiar with the concept on a chart, it could be a cup with a handle. So the handle might come back down and retest the top of this, where the resistance could be anywhere from 35, even 30K. So it could go up and then come back down. And if it goes up higher and comes up to say 50, it may come back down into the 40s or even the 30s. We'll have to see. But I don't think we're going to see the run up, because for those of you, let me drop out of this for 1 second before I get to more. But for those of you who, if you're parents out there and you've had children, you know what false labor is. Like the baby, you think the baby's coming, it's too soon. That's kind of the analogy I'm making here. It's too soon for Bitcoin to be in the bull run. It typically happens every 4 years, about 6 months after the halvening. The halvening is in April next year. So 6 months later kind of leads towards a Christmas rally next year, not this year. So this could be a trap. And going back to the chart one more time, I'll look at that. And you can see in this chart again, you had it went up a lot in 2021, and then it pulled back down and went up in the end of 2021. So it was, the rally started at the end of 2020, which was a year, well, might not be a year too early, but you can see what I'm saying is that this could very well be a cup with a handle. Now, other reasons why I think that we need to be cautionary, and this could be a pullback, and I'll talk more about non-crypto reasons in the next video. But one I'll point out here is CZ, and we talked about Xiao Zhenpeng's dismissal or forced resignation of a CEO of Binance. That happened just before Thanksgiving. During that, and I'm sorry, this is dark, but that's just how the link worked. I wanted to highlight this here because he's going to be sentenced, I believe. Thank you, Bloomberg. He's going to be sentenced, I think, sometime in, yeah, there we go. So he was released on bond. He'll be sentenced in February. So that's another thing that could happen come early next year that could pull it back down. Also, Mt. Gox Mt. Gox is still out there, and they still have a bunch of, there's still Bitcoin to settle there. There is the U.S. government owns here's all the story about the Bitcoin hack back in 2014. We actually just watched a movie about Bitcoin. I think it was The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin. It's available on, like, I think Freevee or one of those free apps on a Fire Stick or an Apple TV. You can go and watch it. It's pretty interesting, pretty fun to watch. They were stressing over the price of Bitcoin being between, I think, $20 and $300. It was pretty funny. But it's all relative, right? But Mt. Gox still has this still has to be settled. Like, there's still Bitcoin that needs to be released and settled out. And there's also ties to Russia in this. So that story could bubble up in 2024. Also, the U.S. government owns way more Bitcoin than you think that they do. They own $5 billion worth. That was as of June of 2023 through seized Bitcoin. So they could release that in the market. So I'm going to talk more about that on the next video and what are some of our reasons there. Let me check my notes. Let me make sure I hit on everything in this video before I drop into this one. But yeah, this could be a bull trap. This could be a cup with handle forming that, like, yes, everybody's happy. Everybody ecstatic that Bitcoin is going up, especially if you already have some Bitcoin. People that don't have Bitcoin say, oh, I need to get some. And they should be shaking the couches or figuring out, pulling their pockets, finding some cash. And remember, you do not have to buy a full Bitcoin. You can buy $20, $50, $100. It's a little bit pricier now because of the transaction fees, because there's so much work on the network. Hopefully Patrick talks about that. But again, the fear and greed index is up. There's lots of stories that could drop next year to push it down. I also want to talk about the timing. Now, this isn't a free market, okay? When the clock flipped, December and January are weird months because of the U.S. government and tax reasons. People don't want to sell for profits in December because you got to pay taxes on it. They want to wait till January. So people may take profits in January, which aligns with the old saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. If the news comes out in January that the ETF is going to be launched then people will sell that news, and that would drive the price of Bitcoin down. Again, another reason that it could reach top in January and pull back down when the ETFs are announced. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to go over to the other video, which I hope to link over here on Economic Preppers, and talk a little bit more about that and what I think the date's going to be for the ETF based on all the different reasons. And I will see you on that video. Take care.